Once you're logged into WordPress, on the left hand side you can go to your Pages section, and this will list all of the pages used on your website. One thing to note, on the top right hand corner you'll see we've got 22 items and I'm on page 1. So if you can't find what you're looking for, you might just be on the wrong page, so just use the arrows to move through, or you could actually search for the page that you're looking for. As with other sections within WordPress, when you hover over a page, it gives you these standard options. You can edit to make a change to the page, quick edit to make a quick change like the date or the title. You can delete the page, view the page, and if you're using Visual Composer, you can edit it using Visual Composer. So we're going to go to the home page and click on Edit, and this is the screen that you'll see. Now if you arrive on this page, you'll notice these two big blue buttons on the top with Classic Mode and Front End Editor. If you click on Classic Mode, you're going to see lots and lots of HTML and foreign looking characters, and it won't be very easy to edit your website at all. So always make sure that you're in Backend Editor, and that will look a little bit better. The alternate is the Front End Editor. Now this is just personal preference. I'll open up the Front End Editor in a new screen to show you how it looks, but that's essentially going to change your view to being what the actual website looks like, and you change it on the fly, whereas here we're changing it in WordPress itself on the back end. So let's have a look at the back-end editor first. If you scroll down, you'll see you've got various sections, and these are all the areas and the bits and pieces that are involved on the home page of the website. Now there are heaps and heaps of little sections and buttons and icons, but the logic is fairly straightforward. I'll start at the top. This item, indicated by the grey square, is a row. If you want, you can delete the row, you can duplicate the row, you can change the row. You can also move the row using these arrows, and you can change how the row is made up. So currently this row is made up of one column, which is displayed by this white square. If we wanted to, we could change it to 2 columns. And now you'll see you've got column 2 and column 1. You now also have additional icons where you could delete this column or delete this column. Bearing in mind, if you wanted to delete both of them, you could delete the entire row. I'll change that one back to a single. And what we can also see is inside this column is you've got an element. So in this case, it's a revolution slider element. With the same logic, you can delete this element, you can clone it, edit it, or you can move it. Let's say, for example, we want it up there. So you can play around with different bits and pieces and restructure your website so that it suits your needs perfectly. You'll also notice this little spacer gap. This is ideal if you just can't quite get the space right between 2 items, and you're literally just specifying the amount of space that you like between 2 areas. So if we click on Edit for this one, it's sent to 15 pixels. So if you wanted a space the same as this right at the top, you could just simply clone it and then drag it. So you've got these various elements on the page that you can drag around. You've got your rows, you've got your columns within the row, and then you've got various elements that you can add inside these columns. So if you want to make a change to something and you're not quite sure if you need to click on this pencil or this pencil or this pencil, hover over it for long enough and it'll actually tell you what you're changing. So if we wanted to change the amount of space in this gap, we're not going to do that via the row or via the column. We're going to do it via the space itself, so that you would in this case use that edit pencil to change the size. If we scroll down and we thought, well, we want to make a change to this area, and we want to change, for example, the background color used in this row. So you can see this color is indicating that this row has got a background. So if I click this pencil, I'm going to be changing the column, and that's not what we're trying to amend. So we go for the Edit Row button. If you're not too sure, worst case scenario is you click each one until you find the correct one. They're all there, and if you click on something and you think, whoops, this is not what I want, you can just hit close. I'll just take you through this so that you can see. This is where our background color is linked or is set for this particular row. If we scroll down to one of the headings, I'll just edit this with a pencil so that you can see how it looks. So this is the homepage heading, and you can leave this title just as is. You can enter your actual text, and as you scroll down you can select the style that you'd like, which is best kept to the current settings for the website. You can also set if you want it to be center or left aligned, for example. And if you have any special font sizes or colors, you can do that all in here. Now, just flicking to another page, if I scroll down, you'll see this one has got a title that is taking up the full width of the page, and then it's got a row made up of quarters. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And if we jump to the front end of the website, this is how it's looking. You've got your title taking up a full row, and your 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. Now these boxes are made up of two elements. We've got the image element and the text element. So if you want to make a change to an image, just hover over the image in question, click on the little pencil, and you'll see all the details for this particular image. You can now click on the plus if you wanted to change it to a different one, and you'll see firstly this image's dimensions are 800 by 640, so the other image that you want to use should be the same dimensions. You can either upload a new file or choose one of the other ones from the library. If you scroll down, you've got a few other options with your left alignment or your right alignment, and you can also choose the URL that this image needs to go to when it's clicked on. And just click on Save Your Changes when you're finished. The next one is a little text box, and remember that you can always clone this if you want to create another copy somewhere, or you can delete it completely, or you can move it anywhere else on the page. I'm just going to click on the little pencil so you can see the standard text editor will appear, where you've got your normal formatting options along the top. Remember, if you see something that looks a little bit odd, like this HTML, you're just on the wrong tab. So instead of being on Text tab, just click on the Visual tab. From this text editor, you can do things like you can add an image, if you want to, by the Add Media button, and this button is here throughout the website in various places. I'll just show you how it looks when you click on it. You'll see it takes you again to the very familiar screen where you can upload a new image or use an existing one. Let's say we're going to use this one. I'll scroll down. I want it to be left aligned. I don't want it to click anywhere, and I'd like a small one. So we'll choose those dimensions, and you'll see the image then appears in the body of the page if you give it a few seconds. If you realize you've made a mistake, you can click on the image to then hit the cross to delete it, to change the alignment, or you can click on the little pencil to make further changes to it. If you're linking to an external URL, it's best practice to tick this option to make sure that the page opens in a new tab. If you're linking to one of your own pages, there's no need to tick that option. So the facilities has been linked to this URL, and you do that by clicking on this little link button. And once you've added it, you can either delete it or you can edit it. If you wanted to link to another internal page, you can just type in the name of the page, and it will automatically search through all of your pages so that you can select the appropriate one. Once you're done, just hit on Save, and you'll see it's made our updates. You can then preview your changes or click on Update once you're finished. None of your changes will be published to your live website until you click on the Update button. So if you've done something and you're very confused and you're not too sure how to get out of what you've done, you can just navigate to another page, and it will say, you're about to leave this page, are you sure, because you're going to lose all of your changes? And just say yes and click on Leave. And that way you're not going to risk putting anything nasty live on your website. If you're a little bit confused about which element that you need to use, because you can click on the plus sign to add a new element at any stage. This is the most popular one, the text one and your image one. But let's say, for example, you want to add another element and it's already on this page, and that's this one over here, it's this button. Instead of you trying to figure out how on earth it works and how to set it up, just come to this button and hit clone. It'll make a copy of it, drag it to where you want it to sit, and then simply edit it to make the change to the actual text that's visible on the button. So it'll carry all of the colors, the size, all of the settings, and you just need to go in and change the actual text. So I know this is a button, so I'm just going to change the text that appears on the front of the button and the link. So change this to new title, and I'm saying it's going to link to the news page. And then you hit save. So that's all you need to do. Instead of going through and changing all the extra bits and pieces, just clone an existing element that you know looks like the end result that you're after. Once you're done making your changes, remember you can always preview your page before going live, or you can click on Update to make your changes live.